Okay, how are you doing? Doing a video on the magazine followers for a Glock. I have a Glock Model 19 Gen 3, and I'm getting problems with hollow points, jamming, failing to feed on the last round. And that's with whatever weight. Tried Winchester, Hornady, Corbon, 115, 147, 124. The last round always gets jammed straight up into the feed ramp. So I got a magazine here with the stock ejector on it, and I also got a couple of different ejectors that people say will cure the problem. Oh, this isn't the stock ejector, is it? Okay, this is a stock ejector with the number 2183 on it. I don't know if you can see the number right there, but if you can tell, it's got a big old hump on the back. And another thing is it will tilt, but I don't see that as an issue. Most handgun mags tilt, so people say to replace that with the 9mm 3 configuration. They also have a 9mm 6 follower. So I put the 3 in there, and actually the 3, I haven't shot it. I never tried to feed a hollow point into the gun, as I don't have the gun here with me, but this actually seems to, and you can tell when I push it forward, it kind of just goes straight up and out, right? No kind of deflection or anything like that. But let's say I want to change the follower to the stock 2183, and a funny thing happens. I'll put it in there temporarily. Now this is a 2183, and as you can see, it's got that little hump in the back of the magazine. And if I put a one round in there and start to push it through, it jumps out at me. Try another one. Now you can see this, but you see right there where it just loves to take a little dip. It's an ever so slight thing. Right as I push it straight out, it wants right about there start going in. And it looks kind of tweaked. Yeah, but that's nothing. Right there, how it just kind of goes down, and I'm thinking that's enough to cause the hollow point to jam on the feed ramp. Bam, little dip. The stock one. Now, if you remember when I put the 9mm 3 on there, it didn't have no such a dip on there. So a lot of people online are saying that that's the fix to get that one. That's off of, I guess, a 15 round magazine, which I'm in California, so I got to use the 10 rounders, and this is a 10 round issue, because I guess people don't have that problem with their 15 rounders. Lucky, lucky, lucky. California sucks. But this is a 9mm 6 follower. Now this sucker, what I thought was interesting about it was that it's non-tilt. You put that sucker in there and it is not tilting. Push it down in the front and the whole follower moves. Also, bring a bullet out of there, start to push it out, feed straight out. No dip, no tilting without the whole follower going down. That actually looks like it might work, but the only issue with this one is that if it basically makes it into a 9-round magazine because it's, for some reason, there's a height difference or something, and you can't use these very reliably. They don't line up anymore. If you put 10 rounds, you know, I had to force that sucker in there. It's below the 10. It's so you're basically turned to a 9-round magazine, and you lose the ability to be sure of how many rounds you have in the magazine. But that's interesting. But if the 9mm 3 works, I think I'm going to go with that because that works the same as a stock follower, and as far as being able to tell how many rounds you got in the gun, and it doesn't have that little dip down. But somebody said that you had to modify the 9mm 6 follower to fit by grinding down a millimeter off of something, but when I put it on there, it seemed to fit fine. I have the newer magazines, and you can see I got the metal line magazines, so maybe it's different for the older magazines, I'm not sure, but I'm going to try 9mm 3 and see how that goes. See if that cures my problem. Next range visit. But here we go again, just to prove to you, well, not to prove to you, so you can see what it's doing. For yourself, I'm going to put in the stock follower in there. 2183 with the little hump on there. Last round only. I guess the other ones will, you know, other bullets will ride on top of the bottom one, so that all other ones don't have this problem, but the last one just wants to kind of dive down, and that's enough to get it caught on the bottom of the feed ramp. I guess that's what's going on here. Also, if you look, another interesting thing, so right here on the magazine, let's see if I can get in some good light so you can see it there. You see right there, there's like a little dip going on. Now that wasn't there originally. That's been, I think it wasn't there originally. It's been being caused by the bullets loading and unloading, and it's kind of like wearing a little thing in there. What I thought was interesting is on the 9mm 6 follower, the new style they call it, it already comes with the little dip in the same exact area where the other dip is forming on the 2183. So I'm going to get a magazine and try the 9mm 6 and the 9mm 3 and see which one works best. And because of the count, I think I'll stick with a 9mm 3 because I like to be able to see how many rounds I have in the magazine only. Alright, well, I'll post another video after I do a range visit and maybe at the range showing what's going on. Alright, take care.